So as you guys know, that Fallout 76 has pretty much failed on a lot of levels, and I know that there are a lot of people that are digging it, who are enjoying Fallout 76, but there's a lot of people who are not, and I am one of those people that wasn't gonna get the game to begin with, just because it didn't pique my interest with the type of game it is. A lot of online survival games really bore me after a while. The only one that ever really kept my attention was Minecraft, and that was because, I don't know, something about Minecraft just stuck with me. But with Fallout 76 and seeing how bug ridden it is and how even worse it is on console, I just stayed away from it altogether. And kind of seeing how things have gone with Bethesda games over the years, it's kind of made me think that I hope that this is not something that they will continue to do, as far as releasing games that have this many issues with it. Because regardless whether or not your Fallout 76 experience has been bug ridden or flawless, it affected a lot of people. There was a lot of issues from this game at launch. It was clearly a game that was not complete at launch. And I fear that this is something that developers are getting more and more okay with doing, because people just will line up and buy the game, and they'll release something that's not finished, and then over the course of time they will, release patches and updates, and either in free DLC or what have you. And I really hope that Bethesda does not follow that trend at all. I really do not want to see them follow that trend. I want to see them do better on the next time around. I want to see them actually deliver on the promises given, and if they don't feel like that they're there yet, they should just wait. They should just push it. We saw how they were not prepared to release the next Prey game until it was fully set and ready to go. Like they had a lot of testing done to that game to make sure that it was up to quote unquote their standards before they released it. And that game looks beautiful and it's fun to play. And of course every Bethesda game is gonna have bugs, and I mean they even joked about it in their conference.
I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs. I did. I read it on the internet, so it's true. And that sometimes it doesn't just work.
It's known that Bethesda has buggy games, but Fallout 76 takes the cake, and it's very noticeable, and it's really, really sad that they let something like this release in the state that it was in. And a lot of people say, well, a lot of early access games are like this. They start out with some sort of base model, and they build and they build and they build. Well, that's fine for early access titles. This is not an early access title. This is a AAA, like, full, supposedly complete game out the box. This isn't an early access game. This is not a beta game. This is something that, when you see the name Bethesda on it, you expect a certain quality. Even with bugs, you expect a certain quality. Take New Vegas, for instance. New Vegas was a rushed project. That was something that they popped out in 18 months, and Obsidian had 18 months to make that game. But you know what still made it a great game, bugs and all? Had a great story and had great characters. Something that is completely excluded from Fallout 76. You take something that is the core mechanic of what makes your games great, the story, the characters, the setting, all that stuff. You take the story out of something like that, and it's really left showing what a skeletal wreck it is. You're left seeing all of the bugs and the open emptiness without all the juicy content on the inside. I honestly feel like that if they had put NPCs in there and actually did better with the story instead of just asset flipping Fallout 4, they could have had something decent. They could have had something that would have came out to average reviews. But seeing how these game developers are starting to kind of put more and more half-baked games out, it's really scary. I mean, take DICE with Battlefield 5, for instance. EA made DICE rush out another Battlefield game, and clearly there are modes that are missing out of that game. There are people that I know who are fans of Battlefield who just are not having fun playing the game because they're like, there's barely anything there. They've done all that they can do. and seeing that game also drop to $30-some, just like with Fallout 76, it's really sad to see that this is what AAA gaming has turned into. Ubisoft was the first company to realize this, because with Assassin's Creed was a phenomenal game, yet they did it as a yearly release. A single player game, mind you, not something that's like a Call of Duty where every year they just use the same engine and they asset flip it, and it's the same multiplayer with some different features here and there. People still complain about that too, but at the same time, this isn't a multiplayer experience, it's a single player experience. Something that should involve good storytelling, should involve good characters, should involve a game that doesn't have half of the things missing out of it. And Ubisoft learned very quickly that by releasing Assassin's Creed annually was killing it. And they finally took a break from it. Ubisoft has really learned from what I've seen from some of their mistakes. They are trying to salvage what they have, and Assassin's Creed has shown better results for that. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for instance, is actually a really fun game. The side missions are kind of meh, but they can work on that. Work on making better side content, better stories. Like The Witcher 3, for instance. The Witcher 3 has phenomenal side content where it's just like you're playing just a living, breathing world, and it seems natural. And if games like Assassin's Creed started adopting that, it'd be gold, in my opinion. I think Assassin's Creed's doing better. I don't think it's praiseworthy yet, but I do give them props for taking a couple of years off and trying to breathe life back into that series, because doing it annually is not good. And of course, Fallout is not an annual series, but at the same time, you can tell this game was rushed. And then to have Battlefield 5 come out right after that, and just seeing how bare bones it is, it's really not looking good for some of these big developers. And I know EA's got a long way to go, because there's absolutely no way that EA is going to take time and sit back and go, you know what, we're going to give the devs some time to do what they want to do. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Bethesda should have that right. Bethesda should have the ability to put something on hold. And the fact that they would kind of comb over Prey to make sure that came out released at least in a good, decent form, a sellable form, it's really shocking to see that they let this go out in the condition that it was in. I think that's what's the biggest thing about Bethesda this time around, is that it's really shocking that it's them. It's them that's the one doing this thing. It's like they sold us a shell Fallout 4 asset flip with nothing in it. And a lot of people didn't like that, and rightfully so. So I'm very, very worried and skeptical for Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I know that this was a side project. This was a spin-off. It was not to be considered a Fallout 5, and I knew that from the start, which is why I didn't even buy it to begin with. I have no interest in the game. But if they're willing to let something like this release with such just discourse and just bare bones and unfinished work, it really has me worried if they'll rush Starfield or if they'll rush Elder Scrolls 6. Especially when they said that we were going to see somewhat of a new hybrid version of the engine, to see kind of give us a taste of the future for the Bethesda games, but there was nothing there. There was the whole 15 times the detail was not there. It's literally Fallout 4's engine, and it was rebuilt from scratch. It was torn apart and rebuilt by people that weren't familiar with it, and it's very sad. I've watched so many videos on this, guys. I'll link in the description below a lot of videos on kind of things that were found out about the making of, and how and why Fallout 76 was pretty much a failure from jump. And it's really sad, but at the same time, I really hope it's a wake-up call. I really hope that Bethesda looks at this hard and goes, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do something like this again. Maybe we should stick to single player, and not only stick to single player, but make sure that when you release it, to release it in the most complete form possible. And you know what, if that means that I've got to wait 5 more years, I will wait 5 more years. I don't mind. I don't care to wait an extensive amount of time, which I think is what these devs don't get. Either that, or it's just that the investors are pushing for a release date so hard that it's really putting a hinder and a stress on these developers. It's like, stop, like, give them time. Like, give yourself time to make sure this releases in a solid form, in a full, complete form. Because guess what? If you did that, you will sell tons. You will sell a ton of units if you release Starfield in a complete, hardly buggy form. If you release Elder Scrolls 6 with the best storyline and the best map that you've ever created, with the most detail and just, I mean, that I'm just getting into a rant mode now, so I should really divert it back. But, you know, honestly, take your time with these games. Why do you think I like games like Persona, for instance? It took them, they delayed Persona 5 so many times, and I saw the fan and the community base get really upset over it. And you know what? I'm fine with it, because it was worth it. It was worth it to have Persona 5 delayed so many times so we could actually get something that was complete, something that was well worth playing, something that I've already sunk 80 hours into, and I haven't even finished the game yet. Like, Persona 5 has the thing where it's like, take your time, the little thing it spins around when you're loading stuff, and that's what I've been doing. I've literally been taking my time with that game. It is an amazing JRPG. Honestly, probably the best JRPG of this generation, straight up. But with that being said, it comes back to these devs need to take their time. They need to take their time, because if they are allowed to, then they will put out games that gamers will buy and back and support and rant and rave over. Because if you keep doing things like this, if Bethesda keeps releasing things like Fallout 76, if EA keeps pushing and rushing their dev teams like DICE to just fart out another Battlefield, if these things keep happening, if Assassin's Creed goes back to a strict annual schedule and doesn't give it time to breathe, they're all going to fall down on their face. They're all going to fail, because eventually over time they're going to become the same things over and over and over, and it's just going to feel like there's no heart into it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think of this whole Bethesda fiasco, the Battlefield thing too? What do you think about devs not taking their time and releasing a game to its full potential at launch? Because I feel like that it has a lot to do with investors, has a lot to do with people up top pushing for release dates to happen as soon as possible, regardless of quality, just so they can get those pre-orders in and make that initial money, and then they don't give a shit. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think that there needs to be a restructuring. I think that there needs to be a fall to happen, because I feel like that they're listening more to the business side than listening to what made them money to begin with side, which is the gamers. You know, you stop giving games for gamers to play that they enjoy. Guess what happens? You're out of business anyway, because you stopped caring. You stopped putting out stuff that makes us want to go out and spend $60 right off the bat. So yeah, let me know also in the comments down below, what are you looking forward to at the Game Awards? What do you want to see win? What do you want to see announced? What are you looking forward to? And yeah, let me know about these devs not taking their time with games, giving us half-baked shit that we spend $60 on. Well, I didn't spend $60 on, but for anyone that did, I'm sorry. I feel for you. I really do, especially if you bought Fallout 76. Especially if you spent $200 on a Power Armor edition and seeing the game go down to $30. Same thing with Battlefield 5, seeing the game go down within the month to $30-some. I feel for you, man. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will come at you guys with another video very soon. Thanks for checking out the channel. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Of course, hit that bell button to get the notifications. Leave a comment down below, and let me know what you guys are playing. What are you guys playing this weekend? What are you looking forward to? I, for one, am going to be finishing up some Persona 5, and I'm going to be trying my hand out at some Black Ops 4, because that was also a $30 game, well, over Black Friday, so I want to see how that goes. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.